Hello, my name is Greg Frazier, and just wanted to take some time to share with you a pressing need that a friend of mine has. And I was seeking to raise some money for a GoFundMe to help her out. And so she doesn't want to be made known as far as what her name is. She wants to remain anonymous. She's very embarrassed about the situation. But I will say that she is from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and her initials are JW, and I've known her for about 3 or 4 years. So anyway, I'll get right to it. So she's in need of some money for rent, utilities, food, paying other bills, including some medical expenses, and I'll get into that. But my friend struggles with seizures. She has seizures, and she also has a traumatic brain injury, and she got these these head injuries because she was physically abused as a child, and so migraines and seizures are a regular part of her life. She does have a traumatic brain injury, and this also causes her to process slower mentally uh, than the average person. She's intelligent. She's not what you would call mentally, et cetera, et cetera. But she just processes slower. I'll say it like that. But because of her seizures, she was never allowed to obtain her driver's permit or her driver's license. So therefore, she does not have them. She has no driver's license. She has no vehicle, so she cannot drive. She has no vehicle to get around, and so that's another issue that she struggles with. On top of that, and I forgot to mention this at the onset, but I'll say this now: her parents are both deceased. Her father is deceased, and her mother is deceased. She has two brothers. One of them is mentally has some mental health issues that really kind of prohibits him from being effective as far as helping her or even helping himself. And then the other brother is not willing to help her at all. And I'll get into that further as well. But back to my friend who lives in Chattanooga, Tennessee, whose first and last initials, the first initial of her first name is J, the first initial of her last name is W. She also has asthma. She has clinical depression. She has a heart condition, and she suffers from malnutrition because she doesn't have enough money to buy sufficient groceries. So some of you may be asking the question, well, doesn't her disability take care of all of this? And the answer is no, it doesn't. And here's why. So the cost of living has increased drastically due to inflation. And in spite of that being the case, the amount of the check that she receives on a regular basis has been cut drastically. So in so her expenses have increased, her income has decreased. Also, electricity is more expensive in the summer and the winter months because of AC needs and heating needs. And so this also is affecting her as well. Her former landlord basically basically gave her an ultimatum to put some of her items in storage. And when she did that, that's not something that she was able to afford long term. It wasn't sustainable for her because of her income. So now she's in debt with her storage bill as well. And her storage is a part of almost like a part of her monthly rent because her items are both in storage and in her apartment where she lives. And that apartment is full of mold, and I'll get into that as well in a moment. But her credit is bad because she's had to survive off of a credit card when the cash ran out. So on top of that, like I was just alluding to, the place where she lives has mold in it, and this mold, which is of course very unhealthy to have in one's home, has ruined most of her clothes, her suitcases, her shoes, food, and even some other items. And so to find another place to move to with the little that she brings in is nearly impossible as it stands right now. And so, like I said earlier, her relatives don't want her living with them. They want nothing to do with her. They told her flat out, "You cannot stay with us," and they don't communicate with her. And like I said, her mother and father are deceased, so she has no parental help as well. She's in her 20s, by the way. Also, this person whose initials are J and W needs a service animal, but she cannot afford to get one. And it has to be a certain breed and not just any dog. And we know that's something that we'll look into farther down the road. But just so you know, the extent of her need of support. Okay, she has a need for a service animal. She needs financial help to get caught up. She also needs to go to the doctor to get herself checked out. Two of her doctors won't see her because she has not yet paid her copay fees, and she can't afford to pay those copay fees, so she therefore has not been able to see her doctors. She has to be referred to see different specialists, and not everyone on disability receives the same amount. For those who may be thinking or wondering about that, some people don't get enough to live on. Also, she does not have any cleaning supplies for her bathroom and her kitchen. She doesn't have enough laundry detergent or hand soap, and even that she does have, she has to water down the soap and the dishwashing liquid to stretch it out. She has to reuse paper towels and even disposable plates. She desperately needs to clean her bathroom, especially the tub and the walls. She needs a new shower curtain, and she told me that she doesn't want to tell me what she has to do about wiping herself and also what she has to do when it's her time of the month. But according to her, it's extremely embarrassing. Also, she reuses water from the kitchen sink to flush the toilet. When she showers, she collects water inside of a bucket so it can get hot, and then she uses that as well to flush the toilet. Her clothes don't get washed regularly, and she has had to throw some of those items away. Her towels don't get washed regularly, and after she bathes, she has to let them air dry, and then she dries off and repeats. And so I hope this gives you a clear enough picture of her situation. She desperately needs the help, and anything that you can do to contribute will be a blessing. We're trying to raise at least $2,000 for her just to get her in a place of some kind of stability. If we can get more than that, that'll be awesome. But every single penny is going to go to her, and we just want to do what we can to help her out during this time of need. Thank you so much for your assistance and consideration in this matter. God bless you.